How many times have you set out to create a new habit or achieve a goal, only to lose steam after a few days? Motivation feels great at first, giving you that push to start, but it rarely lasts long enough to create real change. So, what's the key to lasting improvement? It's not about relying on motivation. It's about creating systems. By focusing on consistent, daily progress, even if it's just 1%, you begin to build habits that stick. Instead of simply chasing goals, you'll start shaping an identity that naturally guides your actions. If you've been stuck in the cycle of starting strong but never finishing, it's time to rethink your strategy. It's not about big leaps. It's about steady, incremental steps that compound over time. In Atomic Habits, James Clear shows us how these tiny habits can transform your life, making lasting change achievable for anyone. At the heart of Atomic Habits is the idea that small habits are powerful because they compound over time. James Clear explains that habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. A 1% improvement each day may seem insignificant, but over the course of a year, these small gains can multiply, making you 37 times better by the time you're done. For instance, if you go to the gym one day, you won't build abs, but consistently going for months will noticeably change your body. The author emphasizes that it's not about making big, dramatic changes. It's about getting 1% better every day. As he says, success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations. James Clear makes an important distinction between goals and systems. Goals are the outcomes you want to achieve, but systems are the processes that get you there. Many people focus on setting goals, but if the systems you use to reach those goals are flawed, you'll never get the results you want. As Clear explains, your outcomes are a lagging measure of your habits. Your net worth is a lagging measure of your financial habits. Your weight is a lagging measure of your eating habits. Your knowledge is a lagging measure of your learning habits. Your clutter is a lagging measure of your cleaning habits. You get what you repeat. Simply put, it's your habits that determine your success. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Once you understand the power of systems over goals, the next step is to focus on something deeper, reshaping your identity. Lasting habits are built by transforming how you see yourself, not just by changing your actions. Your behaviors today are a reflection of how you see yourself, whether consciously or subconsciously. To create long-term change, start by altering how you define your identity. When you shift your identity, the right actions naturally follow. Instead of focusing on outcomes, ask yourself, who is the type of person that could get the outcome I want? This shifts your mindset from achieving goals to shaping your identity. For example, instead of saying, I want to run a marathon, say, I'm a runner. This subtle yet powerful shift reinforces your behavior by aligning it with your identity. Each small action you take becomes a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Every time you choose to read a book, you're casting a vote toward becoming a reader. Every workout becomes a vote toward becoming an athlete. As Clear puts it, the ultimate form of intrinsic motivation is when a habit becomes part of your identity. Your identity emerges from your habits, not the other way around. This approach creates lasting change because it transforms how you see yourself. Every action, no matter how small, is a step toward the person you want to be. To reshape your identity, it's essential to understand how habits are formed at their core. This begins with understanding what Clear calls the habit loop, which consists of 4 stages: cue, craving, response, and reward. These stages work together to form your habits. First, the cue is the trigger that prompts the habit. For example, the cue could be feeling bored or stressed, which leads to thoughts of snacking. Then, the craving is the desire or motivation to take action. You crave comfort or distraction, and food offers a quick fix. Next comes the response, which is the actual behavior of reaching for a bag of chips or a sweet treat. Finally, the reward is the temporary pleasure or relief you get from snacking. The author suggests that the best way to change your habits is to optimize this loop by adjusting each stage to support your desired outcome. And to do this, he presents the 4 laws of behavior change, a simple framework for building good habits and breaking bad ones. 1. Make it obvious by creating a clear cue that triggers your habit. For example, if you want to drink more water, place a water bottle on your desk where you'll see it throughout the day. This visual reminder acts as your cue to take action. 2. Make it attractive by connecting the habit to a craving. For instance, pair exercise with something enjoyable, like listening to your favorite podcast. The craving for the enjoyable activity makes the habit itself more appealing. 3. Make it easy by simplifying the response, the actual habit. To make exercise easier, lay out your workout clothes the night before, or break the habit into smaller steps, such as starting with just 2 minutes of exercise. By reducing friction, the response becomes easier to follow through on. 4. Make it satisfying by creating an immediate reward. Use a habit tracker to record your progress, giving you a sense of accomplishment each time you mark off a completed habit. This instant reward reinforces the habit and motivates you to repeat it the next day. Alongside adjusting your habit loop, the environment plays a crucial role in supporting or hindering your habits. James Clear describes the environment as the invisible hand that guides behavior. By optimizing your surroundings, you can make good habits easier to form and bad habits harder to maintain. For example, if you want to eat healthier, keep junk food out of the house and place healthy snacks in visible areas. The easier it is to access healthy food, the more likely you are to choose it. This eliminates the need for willpower and makes the good habit the default choice. In a similar way, if you want to practice guitar more, leave your guitar out in a visible spot. The cue will remind you to play, and the habit becomes easier to integrate into your daily routine. In the author's words, you don't have to be the victim of your environment. You can also be the architect of it. If you're struggling to form a new habit or break a bad one, it's not because you've lost your ability to change. Often, it's because you haven't yet passed what James Clear refers to as the plateau of latent potential. This is the period where you're putting in effort but not yet seeing results. As he puts it, complaining about not achieving success despite working hard is like complaining about an ice cube not melting when you heated it from 25 to 31 degrees. Your work was not wasted, it is just being stored. All the action happens at 32 degrees. In this quote, Clear uses the melting point of ice in Fahrenheit as a metaphor. The ice doesn't begin to melt until it reaches 32 degrees Fahrenheit, or 0 degrees Celsius, even though it's been gradually warming. Similarly, your hard work is building up to a breakthrough, even if progress isn't immediately visible. The key is patience and consistency. When you finally break through the plateau of latent potential, people may call it an overnight success, but in reality, it's the result of the compounded effort you've been putting in all along. Success takes time, and this plateau is part of the process. The progress is slow and often invisible, but it's what separates those who persevere from those who give up just before they reach a breakthrough. To sum up, the central idea of atomic habits is that your habits ultimately define your future. It's not about motivation or massive changes. It's about small, daily improvements that compound over time. By focusing on systems and aligning your actions with your identity, you can achieve lasting transformation. The question isn't what goals you'll set, it's what habits you'll build to shape the person you want to be. So, which tiny habit will you start today that will guide you toward the person you want to become?